Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine for no reason? Imagine wandering the decaying halls of an abandoned asylum where every creak and shadow holds a story that was never meant to be told. The air is thick with whispers of the past, of lives lived and lost within these very walls. Today, we're not just telling stories, we're stepping into the heart of the unknown, exploring the chilling tales from a place where history refuses to stay buried. Welcome to a journey into the dark heart of the Pennhurst State School and Hospital. Opened in 1908, it was meant to be a sanctuary for those with mental and physical disabilities. But what began with hope soon descended into a nightmare of overcrowding, neglect, and unspeakable cruelty. For decades, thousands of residents were confined here, their voices silenced, their suffering hidden from the outside world. When its doors finally closed in 1987, Pennhurst didn't just become an empty building, it became a monument to forgotten souls. And some say, those souls never truly left. Our first story comes from a group of urban explorers who dared to venture into the Mayflower Building, one of the most notorious structures on the grounds. As they navigated the debris-strewn corridors, they began to hear something faint, the sound of a child's laughter echoing from a distant room. Thinking it might be another explorer, they called out, but the laughter only grew louder, seeming to move around them. They followed the sound to an empty playroom, where a single, dusty rocking horse began to sway on its own. They fled, but the sound of that innocent laughter followed them all the way out. A playful but deeply unsettling reminder of the children who once lived and suffered there. Next, we delve into the mystery of the Shadow Man of the Quaker Building. This entity is one of Pennhurst's most frequently reported apparitions. Security guards and paranormal investigators alike have described seeing a tall, dark figure lurking at the end of hallways. It doesn't move like a normal shadow cast by light. It has substance, a definite form that seems to absorb the light around it. Many who encounter it report a sudden, overwhelming feeling of dread and sorrow, as if the figure is radiating pure despair. One investigator even captured an audio recording of what's known as an electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP. When he asked, "Who are you?" a faint, raspy voice was later heard on the recording, whispering a single, chilling word: help. Our third account is perhaps the most personal and terrifying. A former nurse, who returned to the asylum years after it closed as part of a historical tour, shared her experience in the Devon building. She walked into a room she recognized as part of the old infirmary and was hit by the strong, sterile smell of antiseptic, a scent that had been absent for decades. Suddenly, the heavy metal door to the room slammed shut, plunging her into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled for the handle, which wouldn't budge. She could hear frantic scratching from the other side of the door, accompanied by a woman's distressed weeping. Just as suddenly as it began, the sound stopped, the door swung open on its own, and the hallway was empty and silent once more. She believes it was the spirit of a patient she had tried and failed to save many years ago. These stories are more than just ghost tales. They are echoes of real human suffering. The laughter, the shadows, the desperate cries, they all point back to the thousands of lives that were irrevocably damaged. Within these walls, one of the most common experiences reported by visitors is the feeling of being touched or pushed by unseen hands, especially in the more crowded dormitory buildings. Objects are known to fly off shelves, and disembodied voices often plead for help or scream in agony. Are these just tricks of the mind in a creepy old building? Or are they genuine attempts by the spirits of Pennhurst to finally make their stories heard? Could the intense emotional energy from decades of pain and misery have permanently stained the very fabric of this place? Let's consider the Philadelphia building, used for the most severely disabled patients. It's here that the activity is said to be the most intense. Investigators have documented full-bodied apparitions, temperature drops of over 20 degrees in seconds, and batteries draining in an instant. They've captured EVPs of names being called in clear, intelligent responses to their questions. One team set up a motion-activated camera in a long corridor for hours, Nothing happened. But when they reviewed the footage, they saw it for a brief moment. The translucent figure of a man in what looks like an old-fashioned orderly's uniform walks directly past the camera, looks into the lens, and then vanishes. This wasn't a shadow or a trick of the light. It was a figure with discernible features. A silent guardian or tormented soul still walking its long-forgotten rounds. And what about the infamous underground tunnels that connect the buildings? These dark, damp passages were used to transport patients, supplies, and, tragically, the deceased, away from the public eye. It is in these tunnels that many feel the most profound sense of being watched. People have reported hearing the rattling of gurney wheels on the concrete floor when nothing is there, and seeing fleeting shapes darting just at the edge of their flashlight beams. One particularly brave explorer decided to sit in total darkness in the center of a tunnel junction and simply listen. He recorded the audio, and what he captured was terrifying. The distinct sound of shuffling feet, dozens of them, surrounding him in the pitch black, as if a crowd of unseen people was walking right past him. The sounds grew to a crescendo and then faded into silence, leaving him alone and trembling in the dark. These aren't just isolated incidents. They form a pattern, a chorus of voices and events all crying out from the past. The history of Pennhurst is one of systemic abuse, a place where society's most vulnerable were hidden away and forgotten. The chilling phenomena reported there seemed to be a direct reflection of the dark history. The playful but eerie laughter of a child, the sorrowful shadow man, the desperate nurse's encounter. Each story represents a fragment of a life that was lived and lost in pain. When we hear these tales, we're not just consuming spooky entertainment. We're bearing witness to a history that must not be forgotten. The question isn't just are ghosts real, but rather, what are these spirits trying to tell us? Perhaps the most haunting question of all is this: are these spirits trapped, forced to endlessly relive their trauma, or are they staying by choice, trying to ensure that what happened at Pennhurst is never repeated? Think about the sheer volume of human emotion: fear, anger, sadness, loneliness that was concentrated in that one location for nearly 8 years. Could such powerful energy leave a permanent scar on the environment? A psychic medium who visited the site claimed she didn't just sense individual spirits, but a collective consciousness of pain, a psychic wound that has yet to heal. She described it as a constant, low-level hum of sorrow that permeates the entire property. As we conclude our journey into the shadows of Pennhurst Asylum, the stories linger, don't they? The unexplained whispers, the fleeting figures, the overwhelming sense of sadness. It forces us to wonder what really happens when a place witnesses so much tragedy. Do the walls truly remember? What do you think is the most chilling aspect of these stories? Is it the unseen hands, the disembodied voices, or the idea that the emotions of the past can be trapped in a place forever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If these unexplained mysteries captivated you, and you want to explore more of the world's most haunted and mysterious locations, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. You won't want to miss where we're heading next. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.